Chapter 3004, 9-colored radiance shrouded the entire continent. 9 types of elemental energy were presented by a special array. Below them, the entire continent looked extremely flat and there were no buildings on it. Instead, there were praying mats for cultivation. The 9-colored radiance divided the entire continent into 9 sections. At the center they could see a 9-colored light pillar. What's this? Wang Xian sized up this world with his dragon eyes and his face was filled with astonishment. The entire continent was obviously much smaller than before. However, the continent looked very magical. It looks like a training ground. Tianjin and the rest frowned and guessed. The dojo was a cultivation ground owned by powerful forces. It was similar to the dragon field of the Dragon Palace. "Let's go to the center," said Wang Xian. He immediately flew towards the center of the light pillar. They were fast. Without searching for treasures, it would only take them tens of minutes to reach the center. This is? When Wang Xian and the rest approached the center, the tentacles of the treasure-seeking ant on their shoulders glowed brightly. There are treasures. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and stopped in front of the light pillar. He looked down and saw 9 incomparably huge ponds. The ponds were filled with liquids of various colors and the light pillar came from these ponds. "What's this? It's so magical." Orochi could not help but ask. "I realize that I can easily sense the various elemental energy here." Tianjin stood at the side and waved his arm. An array was formed. He waved his arm again and the array dissipated. The energy blended into the surrounding void. Wang Xian and the rest looked at Tianjin. This should be the training ground of the Emohan clan. Setting up arrays here will increase the speed by 10 times. Moreover, the consumption will be very low. If you practice setting up arrays here, you will get a huge boost. Tianjin said to them. As he finished his sentence, he looked down at the ponds. In each of the ponds there were 19 praying mats. Tianjin moved and landed on one of the praying mats. He sat down with his legs crossed. "Dragon King, this is a sacred place for array sorcerers to cultivate. Look at these praying mats. Each of them is a peak emperor god treasure." Subsequently, Tianjin sized up the praying mats he was sitting on and commented in shock. "What? Why is he so perverted?" Tianjin and the others exclaimed and immediately flew down. Wang Xian also flew down immediately. "Dragon King, take a look. It is indeed a peak emperor god level praying mat. This is definitely the cultivation holy land of the Inkhan clan," Tianjin said confidently. "These praying mats are indeed at the peak stage god emperor grade. There are 19 of them in one pool and over 109 pools. This is truly extravagant. This is the foundation of a primary race in the universe," he said with slight trembling. Over 100 peak emperor god treasures, if placed around the Inkhan dynasty ruins, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. "Dragon King, I plan to let Dragon Witch cultivate here. Cultivating here will greatly increase their combat power," Tianjin immediately said. "Sure." Wang Xian nodded his head. The dragon field of the Dragon Palace didn't have any treasures specifically for wizard cultivation. The strongest point of the dragon field was that it could enhance one's comprehension. It was completely different from this place. This was a treasured land used to increase one's proficiency in array formations. It complemented the dragon field of the Dragon Palace. "And Lai, bring all the dragon witches over. Roving demon, roving crab, 8-headed serpent. Check the surroundings for any treasures. I'll increase my strength first." Wang Xian instructed them one by one. "Yes." The few of them answered immediately. Wang Xian passed the treasure-seeking ant to 8-headed serpent, walked to the side of the pool and took out elixir pills. In the previous land, Wang Xian didn't obtain many elixir pills, but he did obtain many divine herbs and divine wood. The most precious were the 4 reverse current hearts. The reverse current heart was a peak stage god emperor divine flower. 4 of them, in addition to the other elixir pills, were sufficient to improve his strength further. Ding. Congratulations to the host for leveling up to 2nd order void god emperor. Ding. Congratulations to the host for comprehending the law of divine dragon, 5 elements dragon claw. Soon the system's notification sounded. Waves of powerful aura gushed out from Wang Xian's body. On both of his palms, 5-colored rays of light lingered on his fingers. The radiance gradually condensed into a 5-colored divine dragon and entered Wang Xian's palm. Name: Wang Xian. Race: Yin Yang. 5 elements divine dragon, one with the dragon. Rank: 2nd order void god emperor, 8th transformation of divine dragon transformation. Origin source: 1239601000000000000 superpower: Dominate the marine animals, rule any marine animals lower than your own level, devour living creatures. Extract origin source from living creatures. 5 elements control cultivation technique. Divine dragon transformation superpower. Soul assimilation, spirit attachment, law of divine. Abilities: Dragon Eyes, 8 desolations, 5 elements, Dragon Claw Dharma form. 5 elements, Grindstone, Dragon Country in the palm, Dragon Head descending, 10,000 miles, Dragon Body, Yin Yang 2 poles, Yin Yang 5 elements, Bowl, Divine Dragon Tail Whip. Law of Mastery: Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light, Dark, Wind God Kingdom. Dragon Palace, own Dragon Palace. Level 9 Dragon Palace members. 1032450 few. He opened his eyes and a smile appeared on his face. Second Order God Emperor. My current combat strength can reach the void 8th Order God Emperor realm. He clenched his fists, feeling the immense power, and was full of smiles. Given his current strength, he could wipe out the entire 3-eyed race and 4-armed race by himself. He looked to the side, where the members of the Witch Dragon were practicing their arrays. The tens of thousands of Witch Dragon were around the 9th Order God King realm. They weren't strong, but they weren't weak either. Tianjin sat cross-legged at the side, cultivating quietly. But at this moment, Tianjin, who was cultivating on the futon, raised an eyebrow. He waved his arm and took out an item from his spatial ring. Dragon King, there's a problem at the entrance. Seeing that Wang Xian had broken through, he flew over immediately. What's wrong? The array you set up at the entrance has been broken? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and asked. The entrance was naturally the 2 entrances to the resplendent starry sky. Yes, the array I set up at the entrance has been broken forcefully. It should be the people from the 2 major races. Tianjin replied. The 2 major races. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a sinister look. It seems like the 2 major races haven't given up on our Dragon Palace. In that case, let's use their corpses as resources for our Dragon Palace to improve. He said with a murderous aura. Since he had just broken through, he could use the 2 major races as an example. Yes, Dragon King. Tianjin nodded his head, and his eyes were filled with a sinister look. He was also filled with murderous intent towards the 3-eyed race and 4-armed race who had repeatedly invaded their territory. Chapter 3005. One man kills millions on. Haha, it's been half a year, we've finally found the entrance to that space. At the edge of the Ink Han clan's ruins, the 4-armed tribe and 3-eyed tribe stared at the space in front of them with excitement. The 2 factions, with a total of 10 million experts, had searched for more than half a year before they finally found the entrance to that space. At the very front, the 4-armed tribe leader, who was sitting on a lotus, and the 3-eyed tribe leader, who was riding on a 1-eyed rhinoceros, revealed faint smiles on their faces. They looked at the entrance to the starry sky and looked at each other. This array is able to defend against the attacks of a 6th Order God Emperor realm expert. The person who arranged this array should be a 6th Order God Emperor realm magus. No wonder our vanguard army was annihilated. The 4-armed tribe leader said indifferently. No matter how powerful they are, we'll make them pay the price of destruction. Let's go. The 3-eyed tribe leader said indifferently. His figure flashed and the 2 of them flew towards the entrance. The chiefs of the 2 tribes entered, and the other clansmen followed behind them with faces filled with excitement. This time the 2 tribes had sent over 80% of their forces. Adding on the alliance between the 2 forces, it was not an exaggeration to say that they were a formidable force in the vicinity of the Ink Han clan's ruins. I wonder how many lesser dragons with the divine dragon bloodline there are in that dragon palace. As long as there are a few hundred of them, it's a huge resource. One has to know that lesser dragons are extremely valuable in the current universe. If there were tens of thousands of them, that would be even better. We can also become dragon knights. As the 2 tribes entered the resplendent starry sky, they looked around excitedly and discussed among themselves. In the current universe, even a lesser dragon was extremely valuable. The divine dragon bloodline was incomparably noble. As long as one had the divine dragon bloodline, they could reach the peak of the God Emperor realm with some nurturing. If the bloodline was pure, they could even reach the universe venerable realm. What kind of concept was that? Universe venerables were terrifying existences that only low-level races could possess. Being able to own a divine dragon as a mount represented one's identity and status. Even their tribe leader was not qualified to use a lesser dragon as a mount. When they said they wanted to be dragon knights, it was just for fun. The group of 10 million people, with the weakest being a 6th Order God Emperor realm expert, was the core strength of the 2 tribes. There were over 20,000 God Emperor realm experts, and they entered the resplendent starry sky in a grandiose manner. What were the people of these two races doing? Almost 80% of their forces are gathered here. They actually entered the ruins of the Imohan clan. Just as everyone from the two races entered through the entrance, more than a dozen figures hidden in the void behind them looked at them suspiciously. The dozen of them had noticed the situation here 2 months ago. The Three-Eyed Tribe and the Four-Armed Tribe had more than 10 million people in total. Although they had done a lot of concealment and spread out, they still noticed something fishy. Come, let's follow them and take a look. Since the two great tribes have been searching for so long, there must be some great treasures. One of them said. Let's go. More than a dozen people moved and immediately followed behind and entered. Three-Eyed Patriarch, can you find the way? At the forefront of the two races, 10 million people had entered. The Four-Armed Tribe leader, who was sitting on a lotus, looked around and asked the Three-Eyed Patriarch. Let me check it out. The Three-Eyed Patriarch nodded, and the pitch-black eye between his brows sized up this world coldly. Under the gaze of his glabella, everything was deathly pale. I found traces of the Four-Armed Tribe. Follow me. The Three-Eyed Patriarch said plainly. The one-eyed rhinoceros under him immediately galloped forward towards the planet on the other side of the 8 Desolations 6 Directions planet. Dragon King. They have entered the 8 Desolations 6 Directions planet and are flying in our direction. TSK, I have to say that the races in this universe are really powerful. They actually know where we are. At this very moment, Wang Xian and the rest were standing on a meteorite in the void not far away from the two tribes. Enlai teleported over and reported the situation. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and revealed a cold expression. How's the heavenly array? Wang Xian asked Heavenly Array. Dragon King, the heavenly array can definitely be completed before they arrive. However, the heavenly array will collapse if it's attacked by 2 to 3 7th Order God Emperor realm experts. Heavenly Array said. It's enough to trap the other members of the two races. Those 7th Order God Emperor realm experts won't have a chance to attack the heavenly array. Wang Xian said plainly. With the strength of a 6th Order God Emperor, they can forget about breaking through our blockade. Heavenly Array chuckled and revealed a confident look. Just leave it to me to trap them. Wang Xian stood there quietly. The 5 elements grindstone transformed into a crown on his head, and the yin-yang dragon coiled around him. Time passed slowly. Tianjin was standing behind Wang Xian waiting for him. Before long, an army of over 10 million people appeared in their sight. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and they shone brightly. The Three-Eyed Patriarch stared ahead with the black eye between his brows. When he saw the two figures standing on the meteorite, his black eyes wavered slightly. There's someone ahead. The Three-Eyed Patriarch said plainly. Huh. The Patriarch of the Four-Armed Tribe narrowed his eyes as a blurry figure appeared in his sight. Did he know we were coming? The Patriarch of the Four-Armed Tribe raised an eyebrow and said plainly. Be careful. The eyes of the Patriarch of the Three-Eyed Tribe flickered. The Patriarch of the Four-Armed Tribe nodded his head and the group continued to fly forward. The distance between the two parties was getting closer. There's someone ahead? There are indeed two people. What are they doing on the meteorite? Soon, the experts from the two races noticed the two figures in front of them. They were curious and whispered to each other. Everyone, may I know why you are here at the bedazzling starry sky? Wang Xian asked plainly as he saw them approaching. Who are you? Members of the bedazzling starry sky dragon palace? The Patriarch of the Three-Eyed Tribe waved his hand when he heard Wang Xian's question. Everyone stopped immediately. The Patriarch of the Four-Armed Tribe did the same and looked at Wang Xian. Yes, are you here to invade our dragon palace? Wang Xian continued to ask. Were the disciples of my Four-Armed Tribe killed by your dragon palace? The Patriarch of the Four-Armed Tribe stood up slowly and retorted with murderous intent. It's your people who are courting death. Wang Xian nodded his head and the unbeginning Saint Wings appeared behind him. Chapter 3006. One man killing millions and you said our people are courting death. I think your dragon palace is courting death too. The leader of the Four-Armed Tribe revealed a sinister expression when he heard Wang Xian's words. The leader of the Three-Eyed Tribe sized Wang Xian up coldly. He sensed Wang Xian's strength and was prepared to make a move. You will soon know who will die next. Wang Xian smiled faintly. Tianjin, who was standing by the side, took out a weapon he had obtained from the Ink Han tribe and waved his arm lightly. Buzz buzz buzz. In the next moment, ripples appeared in the void. Unlike the array, This was Tianjin's newly mastered space sealing array that could seal the entire void. The four-armed tribe and three-eyed tribe that were suddenly enveloped by the array were taken aback. How dare they seal us? Are they courting death? This is a space sealing array. What are they trying to do? Do they think they can fight us with their strength? They are courting death. Kill them. When the four-armed tribe and three-eyed tribe saw the array enveloping them, some of them were enraged. However, many of them revealed a hint of wariness. Since the other party dared to envelop them with a space sealing array, it was definitely not just to scare them. Moreover, some of the experts could sense that this space sealing array was very powerful. Destroy this space sealing array. The leader of the three-eyed tribe narrowed his eyes and immediately gave the order. Do it. The leader of the four-armed tribe also gave the order. They felt uneasy being enveloped by this space sealing array. After the leaders of the two tribes gave the order, the dozen Seventh Order God Emperor Realm experts behind them moved. However, Wang Xian also made his move the moment they made their move. Whoosh! The unparalleled Saint wings spread out, and his speed reached a terrifying level. Dragon eyes locking 8 desolations. Wang Xian shot out a terrifying pressure from his eyes and charged towards them. In his dragon eyes, the shadows of 9 divine dragons rushed out, dragging long chains behind them. Voila! The speed of the 9 divine dragon shadows was incomparably fast. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of the experts of the two tribes. Not good. What kind of attack is this? When Wang Xian's nomological mystique attacked, the four-armed tribe chief and the three-eyed tribe chief, who were at the forefront, were horrified. Their pupils constricted slightly and were filled with shock. Block this attack first. The three-eyed patriarch's black pupil between his eyebrows revealed a shocked expression, and he immediately roared. What happened? When the 10 million people of the two tribes heard the voice of the three-eyed tribe's patriarch, their faces were filled with shock. The other dozen or so Seventh Order God Emperor Realm experts also felt the threat from the 8 Desolation Dragon Eyes. Their expressions changed in an instant, and they rushed forward to receive the attack. At this moment, Wang Xian dashed over at a terrifying speed. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he locked onto the leader of the four-armed tribe. Damn, he's an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. Upon seeing Wang Xian's terrifying speed, the four-armed tribesman bellowed in horror. His forearms lengthened abruptly. Spears appeared in his palms as he charged towards Wang Xian. However, his speed was too slow in Wang Xian's eyes. With his current combat power at the peak of the 8th Order God Emperor Realm, he could instantly kill an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. A 7th Order God Emperor Realm expert, even if the patriarch of a tribe had many treasures, was useless against him. BFFF. The four-armed tribe's patriarch wanted to attack Wang Xian. However, Wang Xian flapped his unbeginning saint wings and appeared behind him in an instant. What terrifying speed! The four-armed tribe's patriarch's pupils shrank, and his face was filled with shock. The current Wang Xian's speed was comparable to a 9th Order God Emperor Realm expert. The four-armed tribe's patriarch could not react in time. BFFF. In the next instant, Wang Xian's palm entered the four-armed tribe's patriarch's body, and a destructive energy drained away his vitality. The four-armed tribe's patriarch's eyes widened, and his body trembled. A soft snort sounded in his ears. Voila! At this moment, numerous chains wrapped around the entire void. The unbeginning saint wings flapped, and Wang Xian instantly charged towards the next 7th Order God Emperor Realm expert. What? This is impossible. An incomparably shocked voice came from behind. The four-armed tribe's patriarch was killed in an instant, and their faces were filled with shock. Their patriarch was killed in an instant. That was their patriarch, a 7th Order God Emperor Realm expert. That person is an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. At the back, a God Emperor roared in fear. An 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert was in existence that surpassed their two tribes. This is bad. Just as the two tribes had a bad premonition, Wang Xian's figure appeared beside one of the three-eyed tribe's 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts. Die for me. That three-eyed tribe's expert saw Wang Xian charging towards him, and his eyes turned bloodshot as he roared with all his might. You're the one who's going to die. A terrifying attack came towards Wang Xian and he did not dodge at all. He raised his arm and his dragon claw enlarged. 5 Elements Dragon Claw. The 5 Elements Dragon Claw contained the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Radiance intertwined, forming a dusky energy. Filled with the power of death, It destroyed the three-eyed tribe's 7th Order God Emperor Realm expert's attack as the dragon claw grabbed his body. As if he had experienced the river of time, the vitality in his body was erased in an instant. Surround him. The three-eyed tribe's patriarch and the group of 7th Order God Realm experts roared in fear when they saw Wang Xian killing 2 people in an instant. Law of Death, Eye of Death. Law of Death, 4 arms connecting the heavens. Violent roars reverberated through the air, and the 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts did not dare to hold back. They immediately executed their Law of Death and attacked Wang Xian. You're too slow. You want to destroy our dragon palace? Today I'll make you pay with your lives. Wang Xian revealed a look of disdain when he saw their attacks. With a sway of his body he easily dodged their attacks. He hovered in the void at the side. Tao of Judgment. Dragon eyes locking the 8 desolations, 5 elements dragon claw, explode. Wang Xian stared at the 12 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts in front of him, and the chains around him pierced through them. An incomparably huge dragon claw appeared in the void, and the dusky dragon claw looked sinister and terrifying. It contained the power of death. Chains and dragon claw rained down on them. Eye of Death. The three-eyed tribe's patriarch's heart skipped a beat when he saw this terrifying attack. With a flick of his palm, a strange pupil appeared in his hand. A dead spirit floated out from the pupil, and it enveloped him. Chapter 3007. One man killing millions below. Boom. 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 A terrifying attack that blotted out the sky descended upon the 13 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts. Chains coiled around the dusky dragon claws as the terrifying attack fell upon them. The strongest experts of the 2 tribes were filled with fear and astonishment as they faced Wang Xian's attacks. Block, block. They released their trump cards with fear written all over their faces. The patriarch of the 3-eyed tribe who was surrounded by the dead souls. The expert of the 4-armed tribe who was protected by the 4 giant palms. The expert of the 3-eyed tribe who was fleeing frantically. And the elder of the 4-armed tribe who was protected by the golden palms. Bam! As the giant palms descended, the oppressive force caused the void to explode. Arg! Blood-curdling screams rang out as the bodies of the 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts started to crumble. Damn it, we are no match for him. The elder of the 3-eyed tribe watched as the bodies of his clansmen and 4-armed tribe's experts crumbled as chains pierced through their bodies. His face was filled with horror. Dead spirit substitute. The patriarch of the 3-eyed tribe roared with an ugly expression. Bam! In the next moment, the dead souls in front of him entered his body, and the eye of the dead spirits in his hand pierced through his forehead. His body trembled slightly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Chains pierced through his body, rapidly melting away his life force. But at this time, a black dot disappeared like a black hole. Wang Xian swept his gaze over and his eyes shone with brilliance. Ah, Buddha Radiance Golden Palm, take me into the Buddha Kingdom. At this time, another violent roar came from below. Wang Xian swept his gaze across. When the 4-armed expert who was protected by the golden palm saw the golden palm crumble, a golden sea flew out of his body. The sea contained the shadow of a great hall. With a swift move he dived into it. The patriarch of the 3-eyed tribe and the 4-armed tribe expert had escaped. Not bad indeed. Wang Xian looked over and wasn't too surprised. It was normal for such experts to have some tricks up their sleeves. But all of you shall die. Wang Xian's 5 elements dragon claws were covered in chains as he crushed the other 11 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts. No. Blood-curdling screams filled the air as the 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts lost all signs of life. No, 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 how can this be, how can this be? Patriarch and the others, Supreme Elder, Protector and the others are all dead. Behind them, everyone from the 2 tribes widened their eyes when they saw this. Their faces were filled with astonishment. Their bodies trembled as they watched this scene. The 2 clans worked together to find the entrance for more than half a year. They thought that they would be able to harvest a large number of sky dragons. They were still fantasizing about obtaining a great opportunity. The result was actually like this. They were basically here to die. Break the formation and run. One of the 6th Order God Emperor Realm elders roared. Run, 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 run. Run. Terrified cries rang out. In an instant, tens of millions of people fled in all directions frantically. The Dragon Palace has no enmity with you, but you want to destroy us. You can only blame yourselves. Wang Xian's body trembled slightly as he looked at the experts from the 2 tribes who were in a frenzy. Be annihilated in the river of time. Wang Xian's body trembled slightly as he raised his palm, which turned into a massive dragon claw. With a wave of his arm, a grayish destructive energy engulfed the tens of millions of people who were fleeing in a frenzy. A river of destruction appeared and engulfed all of them. The terrifying river of time swept past, and the experts at the forefront were instantly annihilated in the river of time. All signs of life disappeared. No. Some people saw the river of time engulfing them, and their faces were filled with despair as they resisted with all their might. However, the gap between them and Wang Xian was too great. Wang Xian could kill 8th Order God Emperor realm experts in an instant. What could they use to resist? The river of time swept past quickly, and the tens of millions of people were drowned in it, leaving only corpses behind. All the experts from the 2 tribes were annihilated. Other than the patriarch of the 3 Eyes tribe and an expert from the 4 Arms tribe who escaped, the rest were all left behind. Murderers should have this kind of awareness. This was a war between races and there was no right or wrong. Is so strong. That young man is so strong. He actually annihilated 2 tribes by himself. This. At the same time, a dozen people who had been following behind the 2 tribes witnessed this scene, and their faces were filled with shock. That expert is an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert, and there's a 7th Order God Emperor realm shaman who set up the array in advance. The 3 Eyes tribe and the 4 Arms tribe are simply sending themselves to their deaths. An old man in the middle couldn't help but shout in a low voice. I didn't expect such a powerful expert to be hiding here. They said with slight trembling. Not good, that expert is looking in our direction. Run. All of a sudden they felt a terrifying pair of eyes looking in their direction. Their faces were filled with fear. Even though they were 6th Order God Emperor realm experts, they were still filled with fear when facing an expert who could annihilate 2 tribes. Without any hesitation they fled back to their own divine nations. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the dozen of people, and there wasn't a single ripple in his eyes. Dragon King. Tianjin flew over at this time, and his eyes were filled with excitement. Keep these corpses, the harvest is not bad. A faint smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. Even though the 2 tribes had invaded the Dragon Palace many times in an attempt to annihilate it, they had also brought a huge amount of resources to the Dragon Palace. Just this time, there were over 20,000 God Emperor corpses, and there were tens of millions of 6th Order God King realm and above. Such a huge amount of resources would definitely increase the strength of the Dragon Palace by a terrifying amount. Yes, Dragon King. After this battle, our Dragon Palace will be noticed by some forces in the center of the cosmos. Tianjin said. After absorbing the resources this time, the strength of our Dragon Palace will be considered strong among the tribes in the center of the cosmos. Wang Xian chuckled and said. With such strength, it shouldn't be a problem for them to protect themselves. Those forces that wanted to attack the Dragon Palace would have to consider if it was worth it. Moreover, they had yet to finish exploring the ruins of the Incan clan. Once they finished exploring, the Dragon Palace should be able to obtain another upgrade. Go back. Wang Xian was in a good mood and he immediately returned to the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Turtle, get all the members of the Dragon Palace ready to increase their strength. Wang Xian immediately passed down the order when he returned to the Dragon Palace. Dragon King, you have annihilated the 2 tribes? Prime Minister Turtle's eyes were burning with passion. Wang Xian nodded his head indifferently. Prepare to enter the center of the cosmos. Chapter 3008, Universe AI Dragon King, the advancement of all Dragon Palace members has been arranged. This is the information we got from the Incan tribe ruins. We also bought some Universe AI from them. In the Dragon King Palace, Prime Minister Turtle came to report after arranging for all Dragon Palace members to cultivate in the Dragon Transformation Pool. When Wang Xian brought Tianjin and Lai and the rest into the Incan tribe ruins, Prime Minister Turtle had already sent Mo Sha and the rest to understand the center of the universe. The Universe AI was the communication tool of the center of the universe. It was also the mainstream communication tool of the center of the universe. It was released by the Universe AI group. The Universe AI was known as the safest communication tool. It had existed since a long time ago. It was rumored that it was made from an extremely powerful spiritual type treasure of unlocking the world's fortune. Rather than saying it was built, it could also be said that the experts of the universe were using the spirit type treasure. Wang Xian had also seen the description of the Universe AI in the treasure book of Incan Ghost Art. It was described that the core of the Universe AI was a spirit type treasure. People's consciousness could enter it. There was an endless space inside this treasure of unlocking the heavens' fortune. As a result, some experts began to study this endless space. Following that, communication were slowly developed, and they were put into a special medium. As time passed, more and more things were formed in this endless space. It had completely become a second universe. Here one could do games, entertainment, and even cultivation. If a person entered the AI could sense the strength of the person's body. The body in the AI had the same physical strength. As for battle techniques and various nomological abilities, they could also be used in the AI. The intelligence system could even carry out battles, and there were countless experts inside. Once one was famous in the AI, it was equivalent to being famous in the universe. This was because the world of the AI was interconnected with reality. The powerful universe intelligent brain was recorded in that book as the most probable existence of all known treasures of creation and fortune. No one could obtain other people's information from the AI. Hence, the entire AI was very safe. Wang Xian had some understanding of the AI from the three-eyed and four-armed race experts. He took the AI from Prime Minister Turtle and sized it up. The AI was the size of a palm. There were patterns on it. With a thought, his consciousness entered it. Bus. At the next moment, Wang Xian sensed that he was floating above a vast continent. The entire continent was incomparably huge. This continent was modeled after the primeval continent at the center of the universe. There were all kinds of buildings on the continent, and countless living beings gathered there. With a thought, images appeared in front of Wang Xian. Just like a computer, he could understand any information. Among them, the most eye-catching place was a ranking of the universe's races. After he opened it, he realized that there were only mid-tier and below races in the universe. There wasn't even a high-tier race, much less a universe dominator race. Like the high-level races of the universe, the dominator-level races, they were no longer something normal people could discuss. Each and every one of them had gone through countless eons of tribulation. One had to know that a cataclysm would last for over 30 billion years. No one knew how deep their trump cards were or how strong they were. How could they be ranked so casually? Wang Xian took a casual look and returned to reality with a shift of his mind. This universe smart brain is much stronger than the technological smart brain. Wang Xian exclaimed. Yes, Dragon King. Recently, Roving Sword has been entering the universe smart brain to spar with various sword cultivators. Training in the universe smart brain is no different from training in reality. It can even simulate various terrains and challenge various experts in the universe. This is also one of the reasons why the center of the universe is so powerful. Prime Minister Turtle said with a smile. Wang Xian nodded slightly. The universe smart brain was indeed very useful for training in actual combat. However, in the universe smart brain, if the person formed was shattered, it would cause some damage to the person's spirit. The damage wasn't serious, but the person wouldn't be able to enter the universe smart brain within 10 years. It was best not to be shattered again within 100 years. Otherwise, the person wouldn't be able to form a body within 1,000 years. After annihilating the two major races, we should be completely exposed in the resplendent starry sky. Make some preparations to deal with external forces, and let all members be vigilant. In addition, tell Wind Divine Dragon and the other 8 not to go out for the time being. Let them cultivate in the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian instructed Prime Minister Turtle. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Let's go and lie. Let's continue exploring the ruins of the Ink Han dynasty. Wang Xian called and Lai along. Together with the heavenly array, they continued exploring the continents of the Ink Han dynasty ruins. It's over, everything is over. At the same time, in the territory of the Three-Eyed Tribe not far away from the ruins of the Ink Han dynasty, the Three-Eyed Tribe leader was sitting on a throne in his divine kingdom weakly. He slowly stood up with a pale face and made a difficult decision. With a flash he flew out. What? All the tribesmen who went out with you were annihilated? Soon, in the main hall of the Three-Eyed Tribe, dozens of elders and deacons in charge of the tribe looked at the leader in front of them in shock. Their bodies were trembling. They have an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert. The leader of the Three-Eyed Tribe leaned on the throne with a pale face. Inform the rest of the elite disciples of the Three-Eyed Tribe to gather with all their treasures and resources. We'll hide for the time being. Also, inform the rest of the tribesmen to hide and wait for the Three-Eyed Tribe to rebuild. The leader of the Three-Eyed Tribe announced helplessly and unwillingly. He had never imagined that this expedition, which he had thought would be a fortuitous opportunity, would be a complete annihilation. 80% of the experts in the tribe were annihilated. The Three-Eyed Tribe was finished. To prevent the Dragon Palace from coming for revenge, and to prevent the other tribes from knowing about this, they had to escape in advance. Otherwise, even if the experts from the Dragon Palace did not come, the surrounding tribes would come and take a bite out of the three-eyed tribe's territory and blessed grotto heavens. Disband the tribe. The remaining tribesmen of the three-eyed tribe trembled with bloodshot eyes. Once they were disbanded, it would be difficult to rebuild and restore their glory. In that case, they would become rootless trees in water without a source in the universe. The people from Dragon Palace actually killed all our experts. That Dragon Palace is so cruel. We want revenge. Revenge. An old man could not help but roar with hatred. Oh. An old man beside him held his head in despair. Leader, there's a chance for revenge. Not long ago, Emperor God Hong Tian announced the establishment of a territory tribe and recruited experts. If we, at this time, an old man raised his head and gritted his teeth. Hearing his words, everyone's heart skipped a beat. Even the leader of the three-eyed tribe had a complicated expression on his face. Everyone understood what he meant. However, joining a force established by an expert meant that they would never have a chance to rise again. It meant that the three-eyed tribe would disappear from the universe. Chapter 3009, Surrounded by Tigers and Wolves, we have to take our revenge. Joining the force created by Emperor God Hong Tian is the worst choice we can make. In the base of the three-eyed tribe, the leader of the three-eyed tribe clenched his fist and said with a pale face. He didn't want the three-eyed tribe to be annihilated in his hands. If they were to be annihilated, he would be the sinner of the three-eyed tribe. Spread the news about Dragon Palace immediately. Exaggerate it. Say that Dragon Palace has a divine dragon with a very pure bloodline. Say that they have a large number of alternative dragons. The leader of the three-eyed tribe said with a gloomy face. I don't believe that no forces around the Ink Han tribe ruins will be tempted by this news. Once they go over to investigate, they will definitely clash with Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace's alternative dragons with the divine dragon bloodline will definitely become the hunting target of many forces. He continued with a cold face. Yes, leader. Let's spread the news immediately. The experts of the three-eyed tribe nodded immediately. Contact the four-armed tribe. Also, announce that all clansmen should leave this place. The leader of the three-eyed tribe said the last sentence weakly. With that, he closed his eyes and leaned back on the throne. Yes. The rest of the clansmen lowered their heads and replied with an ugly expression. Soon, the disbandment of the three-eyed tribe caused an uproar among the clansmen. At the same time, the three-eyed tribe released all the information about Dragon Palace on the universe's AI. The center of the universe was incomparably vast. The information in the AI was densely packed every second. No one could receive the information from the entire center of the universe. Most of them could only receive information from a certain region. For example, if it was set to 1,000,000 light-years away, the information that could be seen would be released within 1,000,000 light-years. Moreover, the AI had a special characteristic. The information released by the experts would be at the front due to their strong mental strength. Everyone would be able to see the information released by the experts. Secondly, many forces would release the information using their real names or adding the prefix of their force. These forces and experts mainly wanted to attract powerful living beings. In the center of the universe, not every living being had their own race or force. Many living beings were rootless in the universe. There were many such living beings and some of them weren't weak either. Many races liked to recruit such people. The message released by the three-eyed tribe was completely in the name of the entire three-eyed tribe. When this message was sent out, it instantly attracted the attention of countless people. Some specialized members of domain-level races also immediately paid attention to this message. When they saw the contents, all the forces were slightly shocked. A divine dragon with a pure bloodline and many drakes? Is this real or fake? Do you think the three-eyed tribe would be kind enough to tell everyone about this? Is the three-eyed race plotting something? When the experts of all the forces saw this message, they were filled with shock and suspicion. A flood dragon, a pure-blooded divine dragon, was a huge treasure. A powerful flood dragon could be exchanged for many treasures in the center of the universe. If the bloodline was relatively pure, those powerful universe races would be willing to pay a huge price to purchase it. Now that they were so kind as to publicize this information, it was obvious that they were plotting something. But soon, another two sensational pieces of news came out. The three-eyed clan had disbanded. The four-armed tribe had also disbanded. There was also news from the four-armed tribe that 80% of their experts had been killed by the Dragon Palace experts. The Dragon Palace, for the first time, appeared in the eyes of the forces in the center of the universe. In the next 2 days, more information about the four-armed tribe and the three-eyed tribe appeared. The forces in the center of the universe also had some understanding of this matter. The two tribes accidentally discovered that there was a starry sky within the Incan tribe's ruins. In that starry sky, there were opportunities and legends about the divine dragon. With regards to this discovery, the two tribes thought that they had encountered an opportunity and immediately sent a large number of experts over. They did not expect to encounter a disaster. I didn't expect there to be a void within the Incan tribe's ruins and the existence of a flood dragon. If the news released by the four-armed tribe and the three-eyed tribe is true, then this dragon palace is not simple. It's a little too exaggerated to become such a colossus in just a few decades. The three-eyed tribe and the four-armed tribe said that the dragon palace had obtained the inheritance of a powerful divine dragon and the Incan tribe. Is this true? The two tribes must be trying to get someone else to do their dirty work. They purposely exaggerated some things. On the universe AI, countless people were discussing. However, some forces were tempted by the three-eyed tribe's news. Not for any other reason, but the temptation of a flood dragon and a divine dragon was too great. Moreover, they also wanted to know whether the things announced by the three-eyed tribe were true or not. If they were, then, especially to some of the domain races, they were even more tempted by this news. Some of the stronger forces secretly sent some people into the bedazzling starry sky to investigate the news. The situation is not in our Dragon Palace's favor. Prime Minister Turtle was also the first to receive the news on the universe AI. Looking at the information, his face turned solemn. Currently, the Dragon Palace knew the forces around the Incan tribe's ruins like the back of their hands. There were hundreds of tribes and dozens of domain races. The tribes were still fine, the strongest was only an 8th Order God Emperor. But for the domain races, the experts among them had reached the peak God Emperor realm. If a powerful domain race attacked, the Dragon Palace would not be able to defend against them. Even if the Dragon Palace's strength had improved tremendously. All spiky dragons, get ready. If you encounter any ill-intentioned people, kill them immediately. If anyone violates our rules in the bedazzling starry sky, kill them immediately. At this time the Dragon Palace must be strong and not weak. Prime Minister Turtle gathered the leaders of the Dragon Palace and instructed. Yes, Prime Minister Turtle. Roving Demon nodded. Yaki Devil Fiend, lead the Venom Horn Dragons and pay attention to the experts who entered the bedazzling starry sky. Find out their true intentions. Prime Minister Turtle continued to instruct Yaki Devil Fiend. Yes, Prime Minister Turtle. Yaki Devil Fiend nodded. Prime Minister Turtle fell into deep thought. With a thought, he transmitted the situation over to the Dragon King. At the same time, on a continent in the Incan tribe's ruins, Wang Xian frowned when he received the news from Prime Minister Turtle. Ever since the Dragon Palace entered the center of the universe, it has been too passive. He frowned as he read the news. There were too many experts in the center of the universe. Currently, the Dragon Palace was not strong. In addition to the divine dragon bloodline, the entire Dragon Palace was surrounded by tigers and wolves. If they were not careful, they would be consigned to eternal damnation. Chapter 30:10. Those who offend the Dragon Palace on, the Dragon Palace can't afford to show weakness at this time. At most, we'll turn the world upside down. Wang Xian floated above a continent and looked at the ocean in front of him with a cold look in his eyes. Ever since the universe races discovered the bedazzling stars in the Dragon Palace, they thought they could do whatever they wanted. If they thought so, they would be sorely mistaken. Although the Dragon Palace wasn't strong, it could still make a domain-level race pay a heavy price. Dragon King, we've checked. Other than a few hundred wild beasts below the 5th Order God Emperor realm, there aren't any other powerful marine creatures. At this time, Tianjin and Enlai flew over and reported to Wang Xian. Are there any treasures? Wang Xian asked. We haven't found any treasures like the refining sorcerer continent. Even if there are many treasures, they're probably limited, Tianjin said. Let's go and check the other continents first. After that, we'll move the main Dragon Palace here. Wang Xian said. Move the main Dragon Palace here? Tianjin was taken aback and asked, Dragon King, did something happen at the bedazzling stars? Nothing happened for the time being. But we have to take precautions and search the other continents. Wang Xian shook his head and said to Enlai. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded and immediately teleported away. Soon he returned and brought Wang Xian and the rest to another continent. In the next 10 days, Wang Xian and the rest searched the continents. However, they didn't find any powerful treasures on the continents. Dragon King, there's another continent in the center. It's also the largest continent. This continent is tens of thousands of times bigger than our Dragon Island. Enlai reported to Wang Xian when they were still on the last continent. The last continent should be the main continent of the Incan tribe. Even if they were annihilated, they should still have some treasures there. Tianjin was shining brightly at the side. Let's go. As Wang Xian spoke, they arrived at the main continent of the ruins of the Incan tribe. Floating in the sky, the continent in front of them was much vaster than the other 17 continents. However, what made Wang Xian and the rest frown was that a battle seemed to have broken out on this continent. Many places were destroyed. It should be the Incan clan's opponent, the Skeleton clan's experts. Wang Xian murmured, "Let's go. Let's do a rough check first." The treasure-seeking ants only search for treasures of the 7th Order God Emperor realm and above. He gave an order to the treasure-seeking ant and flew quickly in the void. His speed was very fast and he only roughly scanned the continent. Of course, after flying for 10 minutes, Wang Xian's eyes narrowed and he was shocked. "There's someone below," he hurriedly said. "What? Could it be that the Incan clan has been discovered on the main continent? Impossible. If it was discovered, how could there be no traces of humans on the other continents?" Tianjin's expression changed slightly. "Conceal yourself, don't get discovered," Wang Xian said immediately. His body began to turn illusory as his pair of dragon eyes stared at the position below. Below, more than a dozen figures were constantly sparring with each other while displaying their formations. The aura they exuded was around the 5th Order God Emperor realm. More than 10 5th Order God Emperor realm magi? Dragon King, look at what they are wearing. They are exactly the same as the clothes we saw on the corpses. At this time, Tianjin could not help but exclaim with a shocked look on his face. Black and white clothes with the word, Wu, written in the center. On the chest area were the words, Incan clan. There are still people from the Incan clan alive? Wang Xian squinted his eyes and was a little shocked. The Incan clan was a primary race in the universe, and they had been destroyed for billions of years. Now, there were still people from their clan on this continent. That's highly possible. They sealed off the entire territory of their race. It's impossible that they didn't leave behind some descendants, Tianjin said in a deep voice. "Let's go and check," Wang Xian said as he looked around. The unbeginning sacred wings appeared behind him, and he flew towards the group of people below. Who's there? When Wang Xian flew over, the group of people looked at him with doubt, but they did not react too much. In this sealed space there were only their own people. However, in the next moment they fainted before they could see who it was. Soul capture. Wang Xian walked to an old man and waved his arm. A wave of information entered Wang Xian's mind, which made him frown slightly. 10 minutes later he opened his eyes. "Dragon King, how is it?" Tianjin and the rest immediately asked. "The situation is a little unfavorable. The Incan clan left behind descendants on this continent. Currently, there are billions of them living on this continent." Wang Xian revealed a solemn look. "Moreover, according to the memories I obtained, the strongest descendants of the Incan clan have reached the peak Emperor God realm, and there are a total of 10 of them." What? Tianjin and Lai and the rest were shocked. 10 peak Emperor God sorcerers. This force was extremely powerful even for a domain-level race. This is bad news for us. However, there's good news. The descendants of the Incan clan will not be able to leave this continent for now. This continent is shrouded by chaotic arrays. Unless the Incan clan can produce experts of the universe supremacy level, they will be trapped here forever, Wang Xian said. Among the 18 continents, only the main continent had the descendants of the Incan clan. Due to the lack of resources, they had not produced any experts of the universe supremacy level. Without any experts of the universe supremacy level, they would be trapped here forever. The Incan clan must have left all their treasures on this continent. What a pity. Tianjin shook his head in disappointment. Even the descendants of the Incan clan were not something they could deal with. Let's go. Before we have the strength of a peak Emperor God, let's not come into contact with the descendants of the Incan clan for now, Wang Xian said to Enlai. According to the information they obtained, the Incan clan was not a benevolent race. Before they had the strength to speak to them on equal terms, it was better not to come into contact with them. Wang Xian did not kill the dozen people from the Incan clan. They did not see his group and could not leave this continent. Hence, he had nothing to worry about. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded. Since then, the Ink Han clan's ruins and Dragon Palace had been explored almost completely. However, the results did not satisfy Wang Xian. Chapter 30:11. Killing those who offend the Dragon Palace. In of the 18 continents, other than 2, Wang Xian had done a thorough check on the rest of the continents. The main continent had the tinder of the Ink Han tribe. The other continents basically had no valuable treasures. Wang Xian's plan to achieve a breakthrough was dashed. He had wanted to make use of the ruins of the Ink Han tribe to raise himself to the peak Emperor God level. By then he wouldn't have to fear anyone in this void. But now, Prime Minister Turtle, get all the members of the Dragon Palace ready. We will move the main Dragon Palace to the continent within the ruins of the Ink Han tribe. Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace and instructed. Dragon King, what about our side? Prime Minister Turtle pondered for a while and asked. We will continue to manage the resplendent starry sky. If anyone dares to provoke us, we will retreat to the Ink Han tribe without fear. Wang Xian said. Good. Fighting with the tribes and races in the center of the universe will also help the Dragon Palace to improve rapidly. Prime Minister Turtle nodded with a sinister look in his eyes. Dark blazing heavenly array, go and get ready. Set up a bigger altar and teleport the Dragon Palace over. Wang Xian immediately ordered the dark blazing heavenly array and the rest. Yes, Dragon King. The two of them nodded and went to prepare. Half an hour later, all the members of the Dragon Palace returned to the Dragon Palace. The main Dragon Palace had undergone a relocation. The humongous Dragon Palace appeared in the Divine Dragon Continent. The Divine Dragon Continent was the name given by the Dragon Palace. On this continent, 80% of the land was the ocean. The vast ocean was the perfect residence for the Dragon Palace. Dragon King, the ocean on this continent is much bigger than our Dragon Island. It's more comfortable here. The group of Dragon Palace leaders looked at the entire ocean and were satisfied. We retreated here so that we don't have to worry about anything. There are only 2 million members of the Dragon Palace, including the devouring dragons. This is considered a small number in the universe. This also makes it easier for us to act without any worries. If anyone dares to attack the Dragon Palace, we will counterattack. Wang Xian said to the members. This is interesting. Who cares about the tribes and races? As long as they provoke us, we will play with them slowly. Orochi smiled with excitement in his eyes. The good thing is that the other races don't have any ideas about us. Then we can also officially enter the center of the universe and seek development. Prime Minister Turtle replied with a smile. Alright, let's familiarize ourselves with this continent. Wang Xian chuckled. With a swift move, he brought Enlai to the other continents to build dragon palaces. Since the Dragon Palace could be teleported, it would be more convenient for the Dragon Palace members to enter the other continents in the future. Moreover, he had yet to thoroughly search the other continents. Disregarding everything else, a few thousand God Emperor class God equipment could be found. That was a huge sum of money. Just as the Dragon Palace was moving and Wang Xian was searching for treasures, around the ruins of the Emohan clan in the center of the universe, some people from the forces had already stepped into the resplendent starry sky. Many forces were curious about the three-eyed tribe and the four-armed tribe. This was especially so for those domain-level races. They were stronger and weren't afraid of the Dragon Palace. Naturally, they sent people over to investigate. During these 2 months, many people had arrived at the planet on the other side of the world. There are many people from other forces around here. If what the three-eyed tribe and four-armed tribe said is true, who wouldn't want to take a bite out of them? There's a habitable planet ahead. Let's head over. In the void of the world, 5 old men scanned their surroundings and fixed their eyes on the planet in front of them as they spoke with smiles. Let's go. The 5 of them moved and flew over immediately. These 5 people had 2 horns on their heads. They exuded a ferocious aura and had big noses. They were a domain-level race around the Emohan clan. An ordinary domain-level race would have a 9th Order God Emperor Realm expert guarding them, while a powerful domain-level race would have a peak God Emperor Realm expert guarding them. All 5 of them were 6th Order God Emperor Realm experts. For them to send such experts over, one could imagine how much they valued this starry sky. Swish. The 5 of them moved quickly and soon arrived above the planet. The people on this planet are really weak. Let's go and find some people to verify the information. The 5 of them moved and landed in a luxurious manner. When the people in the manor saw the 5 of them, their faces changed. When they saw their faces, their eyes narrowed. The old man in the middle waved his arm and a surge of energy rushed towards the God King realm expert in the manor. His face turned pale as his body trembled slightly and his eyes went blank. Tell us everything you know about the Dragon Palace. The 5 of them stared at him and asked indifferently. Who are you people? What do you want? At this time, someone in the manor noticed the situation and immediately walked over and exclaimed. Noisy. Ants? The 5 of them didn't even look at him. With a wave of their arm they killed him. The Dragon Palace is the ruler of our resplendent starry sky. The God King realm expert with a blank expression described the situation. Hearing his information, the 5 old men looked at each other with shock in their eyes. They waved their arms and took the artificial intelligence on him to search for information about the Dragon Palace. This is a picture of the 9 divine dragons in the Dragon Palace. They look like the legendary wind divine dragons. They looked at the pictures and were slightly shocked. The 3-eyed race and the 4-armed race weren't exaggerating at all. They are definitely sea dragons with powerful divine dragon bloodlines. Is the Dragon Palace really developing at such a terrifying speed? This is unbelievable. Inform the clan immediately. I think we can send more people here. The 5 of them said immediately. What happened here was happening in many places on this planet. The experts of the various domain-level races and races directly controlled the people on this planet, forcing them to spit out everything they knew. 99% of the people who were controlled were killed. The experts from the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty who were stationed there immediately learned about the situation on Nine Ming Planet and spread the news. At the location of the Dragon Palace, Feng Yuan, Guan Shuqing, and the other girls were furious when they heard the news. Currently, the world belonged to the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty and the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty belonged to the Dragon Palace. They obviously didn't take the Dragon Palace seriously by killing people so unscrupulously. Xiao Xian. The girls flew towards the Dragon King Palace immediately. Chapter 30:12. Those who offend Dragon Palace descend. I already know some of the situation. Wang Xian said to Shu Qing and Feng Yuan after hearing what they said. Sitting on the dragon throne, a cold look flashed in his eyes. Xiao Xian then Guan Shuqing and the rest frowned and said, let me handle it. Our bedazzling starry sky might be in chaos soon. Don't bother about the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty. Wang Xian said to the girls. All right then. Guan Shuqing and the rest nodded sensibly. The powerful races in the universe weren't something the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty could handle. Tianjin and Lai follow me to investigate. Baki Devil Sha, you guys go too. Bring some subordinates. Wang Xian ordered. Yes, Dragon King. Tianjin and the rest nodded with cold eyes. In a flash, they came to the Dragon Palace teleportation array and arrived at the Nine Ming planet. The Dragon Palace on the Nine Ming planet was destroyed previously and Wang Xian built another one. This time, the experts from the various forces didn't enter the Dragon Palace when they arrived at the Nine Ming planet. They arrived at the Dragon Palace through the teleportation array. Wang Xian and the rest hid themselves and flew towards the mainland. They were fast. When they arrived at the mainland, Tianjin took out a compass. This sorcery artifact was obtained from the mainland of the Emohan family. It could check if there were any deaths in a place. Wang Xian and the rest flew over when they saw the location shown on the compass. When they entered a manor, they saw dozens of corpses on the ground. Wang Xian and the rest had a cold look on their faces. Killing wantonly in the territory of the Dragon Palace was a disregard for them. Search. Wang Xian immediately ordered the sky array. Yes, Dragon King. Tianjin nodded and activated the array. Currently, Tianjin had the strength of a 7th Order God Emperor, which was comparable to a peak expert from an ordinary tribe. Soon, the scene of dozens of corpses on the ground appeared. 2 horns on their heads. They should be from the rare ancient tribe, a domain-level tribe. The strongest expert in the tribe has the strength of a 9th Order God Emperor. Wang Xian's eyes flickered coldly when he saw the scene ahead. Lock on to them. He said immediately. Yes. Tianjin nodded and started locking on with the array. Found them. He's still on this planet. Heavenly Formation said coldly. Go. Wang Xian and the rest flew over immediately. In a mansion, 5 figures were sitting inside, resting leisurely. One could smell a faint scent of blood in the air. Obviously, the owner of this place had been killed. Courting death. Just as the 5 of them were lying there leisurely, a voice exploded in their ears. The expressions of the 5 people changed dramatically, and fear appeared in their eyes. TSK, TSK, TSK. How dare you make trouble in our Dragon Palace? Go to hell. said Yaki Devil-Sha coldly. The venom horn dragons behind him flew towards them. How dare you? We are people from an ancient race. The 5 of them were horrified. They wanted to resist, but at this moment, a terrifying dragon might rushed into their minds. The bodies of the few of them stiffened. The 5 venom horn dragons had directly entered their bodies, parasitizing them. The 5 of them struggled for a while before their eyes widened in shock. Slowly, the 5 of them stood up and a black light flashed in their eyes. Dragon King. They cupped their hands and greeted respectfully. What news? Wang Xian asked immediately. Dragon King, the 5 of them have passed on our message. The ancient race will send an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert, 5 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts, and 26th Order God Emperor Realm experts, said one of the venom horn dragons in the middle. Is that so? Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and a cold light flickered in them. When will they arrive? Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and asked. They will arrive here in 10 days. The venom horn dragon reported. Very well, we will wait for them for 10 days. Wang Xian said coldly. Come, let's go somewhere, he said to Heavenly Formation. Heavenly Formation nodded and continued searching. Here. Soon they arrived at another place, a secluded street. There were no corpses around. They should have been disposed of. Heavenly Formation waved his arm, and waves of energy enveloped the surroundings. Soon an image appeared in front of them. A race with thin limbs and a slightly larger head appeared in their line of sight. This is the Brain Race, a domain-level race. Their strongest expert is a 9th Order God Emperor. As Heavenly Formation spoke, he immediately set up an array to lock it down. There are only 2 people in the void far away. Heavenly Formation said. Go. Wang Xian and the rest made a move and immediately flew towards the sky above. Wang Xian's eyes shone brightly as he locked onto a star in the void. There are 2 people in the meteorite, 7th Order God Emperor realm. Wang Xian's dragon eyes looked through the meteorite and said. Let me intimidate them and parasitize them. Wang Xian said immediately. Yes, Dragon King. The 2 venom horn dragons beside the 8-limbed dragons nodded. Wang Xian had killed a total of 12 7th Order God Emperor realm experts from the 3-eyed tribe and 4-armed tribe. The strength of these experts had all been used on the venom horn dragon and spike dragon. Prime Minister Turtle and the rest knew that these 2 dragon species would play a huge role in the upcoming matters. The venom horn dragon and the 8-limbed Devil-Sha had 10 7th Order God Emperor realm experts. There were 4 spike dragon species. Boom. Wang Xian and the rest flew over. Before the other party could react, a powerful pressure surged towards them. The pupils of the 2 7th Order God Emperor realm experts shrunk, and a look of fear appeared on their faces. Swish swish. 2 black figures charged into the meteorite. Under Wang Xian's powerful dragon might, the 2 7th Order God Emperor realm experts from the Brain Tribe could not resist and were parasitized. Boom. Soon 2 figures charged out. Dragon King. The 2 experts from the Brain Tribe who were parasitized greeted Wang Xian respectfully. Dragon King, the Brain Tribe will send 2 8th Order God Emperor realm experts. As for the other experts, we did not receive any news. They will arrive in about 13 days. They reported immediately. Wang Xian frowned slightly and nodded his head. 2 8th Order God Emperor realm experts. If he could kill one of them by surprise, the other one could be killed quickly. It was not a big problem. Let's continue. I want to see who is the hunter and who is the prey in the upcoming battle. Wang Xian said to Tianzhen and the rest. His eyes were filled with violent killing intent. Those who covet the Dragon Palace and offend it must die. Chapter 30:13. Slaughter a Path of Blood, Awe the Hero's 1-inch Dragon King. This was done by an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert, and a shaman at that. He erased all traces here. Somewhere on 9 Destruction Planet, Heaven Formation looked ahead and frowned. After dealing with the 2 experts from the Brain Race, they continued searching for traces. This time they received even worse news. An 8th Order God Emperor realm shaman had come to investigate. A race that could casually send out an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert should be considered one of the stronger domain-level forces. Let's continue. As they continued searching, Tianzhen found the people who entered the 9 Destruction Planet one by one. All of them had captured a citizen of the 9 Destruction Planet and threatened them. After that, none of them survived. In 3 hours, Wang Xian and the rest had found more than a dozen races. A few races dare to be arrogant in our Dragon Palace. Wang Xian's eyes flashed coldly. Dragon King, this is what we have found. There is still some information that we haven't found. Tianjin's eyes flickered. This was only the ones who entered the 9 destruction planet. Who knew how many more people did not enter? Roughly estimating, there were at least 20 experts who came to the resplendent starry sky. 13 of them were parasitized by the venom-horned dragon. Since they want to attack us and covet us, then we don't have to worry. Enlai, immediately search for the evil wind race, life spirit race and thousand hands race on the universe AI and head towards their nests. A few small races dare to covet our dragon palace. Wang Xian said with a murderous look. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai immediately nodded. Since they want to kill us, let's slaughter a path of blood first. Just in time, slaughter a path of blood. Wang Xian's eyes flashed. Using the fresh blood of the races in the center of the cosmos to increase the dragon palace's strength. Enlai immediately searched. It was easy to search the nests of some races. Enlai's figure disappeared after finding a star map. Enlai's speed was a few hundred times the speed of light. It was not an exaggeration. Enlai's second was equivalent to a light year. With the star map he could reach the nests of those races in less than half an hour. With such great mobility he could visit all the races in the center of the cosmos in a day. Dragon King. After more than an hour, Enlai appeared before Wang Xian. I have investigated the evil wind tribe. Dark Ardent respectfully reported. Did the evil wind race finish their investigation? Return to the dragon palace and bring roving demon and the rest. Prepare to hunt. Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and said to Enlai. It's Dragon King. Enlai grinned. His figure flashed and disappeared in an instant. Back in the dragon palace, Wang Xian brought along roving demon and the other 20 strongest spiky dragons. Then they appeared in the sky above a planet. Dragon King, this is one of the main planets of the evil wind clan. According to the information I received, there are a few grotto heavens of the evil wind clan below. Enlai immediately reported. Heavenly Array, check the strongest combat power on this planet. Wang Xian immediately instructed the Sky Array. It's Dragon King. Tianjin nodded. He took out a compass and scanned the area in front of him. 1/8th Order God Emperor Realm Expert. Tianjin immediately said. Let's go, let's start hunting. Sky Formation, send the location to Roving Demon and the others. We will assassinate them. Wang Xian said coldly. Tianjin nodded. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Wang Xian and the rest of the spiky dragons flew towards the planet below. Their speed was fast. This time, all of them were the strongest elites of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian flew straight towards the center of the planet. Enlai, find out the exact location of the 8th Order God Emperor. Wang Xian instructed Enlai. Yes, Dragon King. The 8th Order God Emperor will be able to sense my presence the moment I appear. Enlai said. It's all right. It's fine to lure him out. I'll launch a killing blow instantly. Wang Xian said. Yes. Enlai nodded. Both of them landed on a corner of the planet. The 8th Order God Emperor was residing in a grotto heavens that was surrounded by mountains and rivers. They were within 100 kilometers of the place. Wang Xian looked at Enlai. Enlai nodded and disappeared in an instant. Who's there? Soon an incomparably cold voice sounded, following which a powerful aura came from a cave. A 10-meter-tall figure shrouded in a hurricane flew out. He stared at Enlai with a murderous look. Wang Xian was at the back. This is the moment. Wang Xian's eyes flashed with cold killing intent when he saw the 8th Order God Emperor. The unbeginning sacred wings appeared behind him in an instant. His dragon eyes locked onto the 8th Order God Emperor. Hualala chains appeared out of thin air, binding the demonic wind tribe's 8th Order God Emperor Realm Expert. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. The 5 elements dragon claws struck towards him. What? The evil wind tribe expert who was suddenly attacked felt the changes in his surroundings. His expression changed drastically. He quickly turned around. The wind-attributed evil wind tribe expert was fast. But in front of the unbeginning sacred wings, he paled in comparison. BFFF. The 5 elements dragon claws pierced through his body. Grayish death energy enveloped him. Cough 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 cough. Who are you? The evil wind tribe expert widened his eyes and turned around. His body trembled as he asked in a low voice. Dragon Palace Dragon King. Wang Xian replied emotionlessly without the slightest feeling. Boom. With a wave of his dragon claws, the evil wind tribe expert's life force was absorbed into the mother nest. Deputy Patriarch. Deputy Patriarch. At this time, exclamations sounded. More than a dozen evil wind tribe experts flew over after sensing the commotion. 2 of them were 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts, while the rest were 6th Order God Emperor Realm experts. Boom boom boom. But before they could react, Wang Xian flew over and killed them in an instant. They didn't even have the strength to resist. They were killed without knowing what happened. The vast universe was just that cruel. After killing the experts of the Yaowen Wind tribe in an instant, the situation did not cause any commotion. Wang Xian waved his arm and left the words Dragon Palace on the ground. Dragon King is mighty. Dragon King is invincible. Enlai teleported over and flattered Wang Xian. Let's wait for a while. Roving Demon and the rest should be finished soon. Wang Xian chuckled. Hehe, Dragon King, I'll make a move too. Leave those below the 5th Order God Emperor realm to me. Enlai chuckled. He took out an array compass and disappeared in an instant. Enlai's assassination skills were more terrifying than the spiked dragon. With his current 3rd Order God Emperor realm strength, he could kill a 4th Order God Emperor realm expert in an instant. Moreover, 4th Order God Emperor realm experts wouldn't be able to react, much less 5th Order God Emperor realm experts. But this was already terrifying enough. Chapter 30:14. Slaughter, a Path of Blood. The heroes to an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert was killed. There was no need for Wang Xian to do anything else. Given Roving and the rest strength, they could easily assassinate a 7th Order God Emperor realm expert. There were over 1,000 God Emperors on this planet, and it was one of the core planets of the Evil Wind tribe. However, the 1,000 God Emperors disappeared rapidly under the attack of Enlai and Roving Demon. Dragon King, it's done. Roving Demon, Enlai, and the rest returned 20 minutes later. Haha, I alone killed over 700 of them. Enlai said excitedly. Dragon King, I've erased all traces they left behind. Tianjin flew over and said with a smile. Enlai, let's go to the next location. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and continued. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded his head and disappeared. Wang Xian and the rest flew into the void, waiting for Enlai's news. Boom boom boom. However, in less than 10 minutes on the planet of the Evil Wind clan, an imposing aura rose into the sky. Many creatures of the Evil Wind race that were more than 10 meters tall and looked like cyan wind demons flew over through the teleportation formation. When they arrived at their Deputy Patriarch's blessed land, their faces were filled with fear and embarrassment. Patriarch, the Deputy Patriarch's vitality disappeared here. The battle also happened here. The Deputy Patriarch should have been killed in one move. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been killed so silently. The Evil Wind tribe did not belong to the human race. Their bodies were green and they were 10 meters tall. Their arms were connected to a wing, and their heads were slightly protruding. One of the experts from the Yaowen Wind clan had a gloomy look on his face as he roared with fear in his eyes. To be able to kill an 8th Order God Emperor in an instant meant that the other party could kill them too. An 8th Order God Emperor was one of the strongest experts in their tribe. In the center, the leader of the Evil Wind tribe, who was about 11 to 12 meters tall, looked around with fear. When he saw the words on the ground not far away, his eyes narrowed. Boom. In a flash, he appeared in front of the words. Dragon Palace. He roared when he saw the words on the ground. Dragon Palace? Is it that Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace in the starry space is theirs? Damn. When the people behind him saw these 2 words, they instantly thought of the forces that were receiving the most attention in this space. The power in the space within the ruins of the Incan dynasty, the Dragon Palace. Why are they attacking us? Could it be that they already know that our people have entered their territory? Now you want revenge? Even if they know, the speed of their revenge is too fast. Our people have just arrived in that starry sky and have just sent the message. This Dragon Palace is obviously trying to intimidate us. However, their strength is really terrifying. They actually killed so many of our experts in such a short time. Even the deputy team leader. I think we'd better not provoke such a powerful force. The group of experts from the Evil Wind clan had ugly expressions on their faces. At the same time, they were a little frightened. Such strength was no weaker than theirs. In fact, it might even be stronger than theirs. It was clearly unwise to provoke such an opponent. Inform the elders who have gone to that part of the starry sky to come back. This isn't something we can get involved in. The clan leader of the Evil Wind tribe said with an ugly expression. The vice clan head had been assassinated without a sound or a trace, and it had not caused any commotion. One could well imagine the strength of the other party. Moreover, thousands of God Emperors on the entire planet had died. Such terrifying strength made him shudder. If they were to really fight, the evil Wind tribe might not be a match for them. Yes, clan leader. The experts from the evil Wind tribe nodded their heads solemnly. Dragon King, the living soul tribe has locked onto them. Let's go and get them. In the void above, Enlai appeared beside Wang Xian and the rest. He grinned widely and spoke with a smile. Let's go. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. They moved and disappeared in an instant. The living soul tribe was a tribe of sorcerers. The strongest expert also had the strength of an 8th order god emperor. Moreover, the overall strength of the living soul tribe was much stronger than the evil Wind tribe. The combat strength of the sorcerers was generally stronger than the other tribes. However, other than the sorcerers who focused on cultivating their physical bodies, the array sorcerers and curse sorcerers had extremely weak physical bodies. Once they got close to them, even if they were a level lower, they could still kill them. For example, Enlai could only kill 4th order god emperor realm experts. However, he could kill 5th order god emperor realm magicians. Dragon King, the sorcerers are very vigilant. They will set up arrays at their residences. You must be careful, roving demon. Somewhere on the living soul tribe's main planet, the heavenly array reminded. Don't worry, we can perform an instant illusion. As long as they are within 1,000 kilometers, we can definitely kill them. Roving demon said confidently. Surprisingly, with their assassination techniques, it was not difficult for them to assassinate sorcerers of the same level. Be careful, they still have sorcery weapons. I'll make the first move. The commotion here will definitely attract the attention of the experts on the entire planet. Wait for an opportunity to assassinate them. Wang Xian said to them. Yes, Dragon King. Roving demon and the rest nodded their heads. Heavenly array, help me lock onto the location of that sorcerer. Enlai, come and pinpoint the exact location of that 8th order god emperor sorcerer. Wang Xian said to them. An 8th order god emperor sorcerer's array formation was stronger than the heavenly array. The heavenly array could only sense the location that was threatening to him. That would definitely be the location of the 8th order god emperor sorcerer. As for the heavenly array, it could quickly lock onto the exact location of that sorcerer. If the Yamada no Demon Sha and the rest of the Venom Horn Dragons came over and slowly infiltrated, it would be safer. However, Wang Xian felt that it was unnecessary to deal with these races. Attack with brute force. Heavenly Array and Lai nodded his head and immediately went to investigate. The assassination this time was much more troublesome than the previous one. Half an hour later, Heavenly Array and Lai and the rest locked onto a location. Dragon King, there's a powerful array in the domain ahead. There should be an 8th order god emperor realm expert inside. Heavenly Array said as he looked at Enlai. I'll go and investigate. Enlai nodded his head. Hide in the surroundings and be ready to strike. Roving Demon ordered his subordinates. The Spinulosa dragons nodded their heads. Enlai moved and entered the domain instantly. The array formation was useless against him. Rumble. Who dares to barge into my holy message domain? Soon, the void ahead was filled with lightning, and the entire domain was covered in lightning. A cold roar reverberated across the entire planet. An old man holding a lightning rod floated in the center of the lightning, scanning his surroundings. He's out. Wang Xian squinted his eyes as a chilly light flashed in his eyes. Dragon King, be careful. An 8th order god emperor realm sorcerer can fight against those of a higher realm. Don't engage in a prolonged battle. Heavenly Array reminded. Chapter 30:15, Carving a Bloody Path and Terrorizing the Crowd 3 Rumble Rumble Rumble. Wang Xian naturally knew how terrifying an 8th order god emperor realm sorcerer was. Once he couldn't get close, he wouldn't be able to do anything to his opponent no matter how fast he was. Once he got close, it would be much easier for Wang Xian to kill his opponent. The unbeginning saint wings flapped and Wang Xian pushed his speed to the limit. A pair of dragon horns gradually appeared on his head. He stared at the old man with a violent aura in his eyes. He flapped his wings and charged forward at a terrifying speed. His arms turned into dragon claws as he charged forward. Ha! When Wang Xian charged over, the old man with the lightning scepter immediately noticed him. The old man's eyes narrowed. He pointed the lightning scepter in his hand towards Wang Xian. Crackle! In an instant, an extremely horrifying thunderbolt struck towards Wang Xian. Boom! The lightning bolt was so fast that Wang Xian's expression changed. His figure moved, directly dodging the lightning attack, directly rushing into the dense lightning in front of him. Such terrifying speed. The old man with the lightning scepter was shocked. He waved his arm and a lightning decree appeared in front of him. The lightning decree was covered in dense lightning bolts and a terrifying lightning beast quickly condensed on its surface. The thunder beast galloped and charged towards Wang Xian. "Who is it? How dare you attack me?" The old man with the lightning scepter roared. Such powerful strength. Wang Xian's expression changed when he saw his attack. He was indeed an 8th Order God Emperor realm sorcerer. However, the lightning beast was still slower than him. With a swift movement, he dodged the thunder beast and continued to attack the old man. Damn it, such terrifying speed. The old man with the lightning scepter panicked when he saw Wang Xian's speed. The lightning decree in front of him released dense lightning bolts towards Wang Xian. 5 elements dragon claw. Wang Xian didn't hesitate as he executed his mystique. The grayish dragon claw swung towards his surroundings. The lightning bolts were split apart and the distance between him and the old man was getting closer. Rumbling thunder. The old man with the lightning scepter was shocked as he landed his scepter on the lightning decree. Boom. Lightning filled the sky, and a terrifying power of lightning surrounded the old man. Then it spread out in all directions. Not good. When Wang Xian saw the old man's ranged attack, his expression changed slightly. The old man's lightning beast attack could definitely threaten a 9th Order God Emperor realm expert. Even if this attack wasn't as terrifying as the lightning beast's attack, it was still slightly weaker. Charge. As long as we can block it, we can destroy it. The yin-yang dragon coiled around Wang Xian and protected him tightly. Ka-ka. However, the yin-yang dragon board was unable to withstand such an attack. Cracks began to appear on its surface as it slowly collapsed. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes. The strength of this old man was a little terrifying. Secondly, the old man had the geographical advantage. Even if he suddenly launched a sneak attack and was not far away from him, the formation that he had set up in advance could be activated instantly. Crackle. Incomparably powerful thunderbolts bombarded his body. This caused his expression to change again. A powerful bolt of lightning landed on his body, causing him to freeze. But suddenly, the left wing of the unbeginning saint wings behind him trembled slightly. Some of the lightning fell on it and was slowly absorbed. The feeling of numbness disappeared instantly. Wang Xian was overjoyed. This was an opportunity. Die. His eyes emitted a terrifying murderous aura as he sped up. What? Seeing that the lightning had no effect on Wang Xian, the old man of the living spirit tribe was shocked and his expression changed completely. He immediately retreated in fear. But how could his speed compare to Wang Xian? The grayish death dragon claw grabbed the old man in an instant. Layers of powerful defensive barriers lit up on his body. Break. At such a close distance, Wang Xian's death dragon claw exploded with terrifying physical strength and the power of the 5 elements. Dragon eyes locking 8 desolations. At the same time, chains shot out from his eyes and pierced through the old man. Bam bam bam. The defensive sorcery equipment on his body crumbled rapidly. Who are you? What feud do I have with you? The living spirit tribe old man roared in fear. What feud? I'm the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. What feud do you have with me? You covet our Dragon Palace. Die. The chains of dragon eyes locking 8 desolations wrapped around his body. Wang Xian clawed hard with his death dragon claw and a destructive force rushed into the old man's body. Dragon Palace. His eyes widened. As a top-notch expert of the living spirit tribe, he naturally knew about the Dragon Palace. In fact, he was the one who initiated the operation of the living spirit tribe. As a sorcerer, he was confident that he could take a bite out of the Dragon Palace. In fact, he was pleasantly surprised by the information he received about the Dragon Palace. But he did not expect the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace to attack them now. How could it be possible with such a fast speed? Bam. A powerful force landed on him and drained his vitality. From the moment Wang Xian attacked to the moment it ended, only 10 seconds had passed. What's happening? Oh no, someone is causing trouble in our living spirit tribe. It's the Great Supreme Elder. Hurry, let's go over. The terrifying aura from the battle on Wang Xian's side swept across the entire planet. All the people on the planet sensed the terrifying aura coming from here, and they all had shocked expressions on their faces. The experts of the living spirit tribe had a slight change in their expressions as they flew over. Everything happened in a mere 10 seconds. Attack. Roving Demon and the rest, who had been lying in ambush, saw the living spirit tribe sorcerers flying over. Their eyes were filled with coldness. PFFF. In the next moment they moved. Ah! The living spirit tribe's experts were unable to react in time and their bodies were pierced by the sharp claws. Under such circumstances, they were just sorcerers waiting to be slaughtered in front of the spiky dragon. Not good, there's an ambush. Horrified voices came from the living spirit tribe's experts who rushed over. Their expressions changed when they saw 8 of their experts being assassinated. Die, haha. Enlai laughed heartily. He locked onto those 5th Order God Emperor Realm sorcerers and disappeared instantly. PFFF PFFF PFFF. In an instant, his dagger sliced through over 30 heads. Kill? Wang Xian rushed out and flapped his unbeginning sacred wings. He attacked the surrounding 7th Order God Emperor Realm sorcerers at a terrifying speed. The massacre had begun. Who are you? How dare you attack our living spirit tribe? Not good, our living spirit tribe's experts have been killed. Which tribe's expert is it? Around them, the people of the Living Souls clan looked over in shock. Chapter 30:16, Carving a Path of Blood and Deterrence 4-inch die. On one of the core planets of the Living Soul race, Wang Xian exuded a violent murderous aura as he charged towards the experts of the Living Soul race. With terrifying speed and overwhelming strength, Huang Xiaolong easily killed 4 7th Order God Emperor Realm experts. Who are you? Why did you invade our Living Soul race? When the powerhouses of the Living Soul race who had rushed over saw this scene, they roared once again in horror. Those who offend my dragon palace will be killed no matter how far they are. Wang Xian bellowed as his terrifying murderous aura spread to the surroundings. Dragon palace? When some of the people on the planet heard this, their faces were filled with astonishment. Run. The experts of the Living Soul race who were flying over could sense Wang Xian's strength. When they heard his words, their expressions changed and they roared immediately. However, the experts that rushed over were not very strong. Enlai's figure flickered and killed them all before anyone could react. As for the celestial emperors of the Living Soul race who were further away, they fled immediately and returned to their own holy kingdoms. Let's go. Wang Xian looked around and saw that the celestial emperors were either dead or running away. He instructed Tianzhen and the rest. Tianzhen, roving demon, and the rest flew to Wang Xian's side and flew into the void. Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace in the ruins of the Ink Han dynasty? Why did they suddenly attack us? Kill no matter how far they are? Did we offend the Dragon Palace? What happened to our first Supreme Elder? On the planet, countless experts from the Living Soul race were discussing in fear. Boom boom boom. Before long, a large number of experts from the Living Soul race were teleported over from the teleportation array. There were more than 100,000 experts and they exuded a terrifying aura. The few experts in the lead were all 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts. The first Supreme Elder's spirit tablet has been destroyed. How did the Dragon Palace get here so quickly? The group looked towards the Living Soul race's first Supreme Elder's blessed grotto heaven and looked around with gloomy expressions. Not long after they arrived in the starry space, the Dragon Palace sent people over to kill them. Kill no matter how far they are. Was this a warning? Next place. At this moment in the starry sky of the Living Soul race, Wang Xian looked at Enlai and said with a smile. It's the Dragon King and the Thousand-Armed Tribe. Enlai nodded and instantly disappeared. 2 hours later, a great battle broke out on the Thousand Hands continent of the Thousand Hands tribe. Over 200 God Emperors from the Thousand Hands tribe were killed, and 10 of them were 7th Order God Emperors. 4 hours later, on the main road of a rare race, a domain class race, over 700 God Emperor experts were killed. 8 hours later, over 800 God Emperors from the brain race, a domain class race on a planet were killed. As time passed, more and more races and domain-level races planets were attacked. At least 700 to 800 God Emperors were killed. On top of that, there were 7th Order God Emperor Realm and 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts that fell. In the beginning, the attacks of Wang Xian and the rest had only caused a stir in a small area. And when 4 powerful races were attacked consecutively, the matter became more and more sensational in the universe's AI. What's going on? Is the Dragon Palace courting death? In a short period of time they have attacked 4 to 5 powerful forces. What's going on? Had the Dragon Palace in the starry sky gone mad? Are they attacking the various races? Are they digging their own graves? They have killed an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert from the brain race, and even the current young patriarch of the brain race was killed. The people from the Dragon Palace said that those who offend the Dragon Palace will be killed no matter how far away they are. Could it be that these races have invaded the Dragon Palace? That's crazy, directly assassinating the experts of various forces. Aren't they afraid that they will join forces to annihilate them? On the universe's AI, countless people saw this information and their faces were filled with shock. Not long ago, the three-eyed race and four-armed race announced their disbandment. They were completely annihilated. The Dragon Palace that had wiped out the two races could be considered to have risen in the starry sky. Especially when the three-eyed race and four-armed race released information about the Dragon Palace, it caused an uproar. Countless people were discussing on the AI. Various forces were also stirring in the dark. However, in just half a month, the experts of the Dragon Palace were killing experts of various races? What was going on? Had the Dragon Palace gone mad? However, the fact that the Dragon Palace could assassinate so many experts at such a terrifying speed was shocking to many people. In just a short 10 hours, the Dragon Palace killed 5 forces. Even if they were rushing, they wouldn't be able to make it in time. This Dragon Palace is not as simple as it seems. They were able to kill an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert without giving him a chance to escape. It seems like they have a 9th Order God Emperor Realm expert or a powerful treasure. This is going to be interesting. Will they still assassinate experts from other forces? On the AI, the group of domain-level races disciples were discussing among themselves. However, Wang Xian's attack had embarrassed the experts from the Brainling tribe, the Rare Ancient tribe, and the other forces. The Dragon Palace probably knows that our people have entered their domain. They are taking revenge on us one by one, threatening us one by one. At this time, on a large continent, a huge sculpture of the founder of the Brain race stood in the center of the continent. It was 1,000,000 meters tall. Behind the sculpture, a group of experts from the Brain race gathered in a large hall. Their faces were extremely gloomy. An 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert was killed. Even their patriarch's son, the outstanding young patriarch of the Brain race, was killed. This was a complete provocation to the Brain race. Revenge? Threat? They are courting death. How dare they kill our young patriarch? They are trying to start a war. An enraged expert from the Brain race roared. Since they dared to assassinate so many forces and reported their names, they are not afraid of our revenge. Moreover, in the eyes of the Dragon Palace, we are their enemies. They are trying to use this kind of madness to threaten other races. An old man from the Brain race sitting in the middle said faintly. His eyes flickered. Water flowed around his enormous brain. It looked a little strange, and there was even a hint of holiness. Threat? Do they really think the domain-level races are that easy to scare off? Unless they can display even greater strength. The patriarch of the Brain race sitting beside the old man said with a cold expression. I'll go take a look and investigate the situation of the Dragon Palace. The Brain race powerhouse who had spoken just now slowly stood up and said. Old patriarch, be careful, there is something strange about that Dragon Palace. The rest of the Brain race experts immediately warned. Chapter 30:17. Carving a Bloody Path, Intimidating Enemies 5. Just as the experts from the Brain race were discussing amongst themselves, experts from other races were also discussing with gloomy expressions. To the Demonic Wind race, Life Soul race and Thousand Hands race, Wang Xian's deterrence was completely effective. As a race, the strongest expert among them was only an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. Moreover, the Dragon Palace had the strength to kill an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. To them, the Dragon Palace was no longer something they could deal with. If they angered the Dragon Palace and caused a massacre in their territory, it would be a devastating blow to them. Moreover, they were afraid that the experts from the Dragon Palace would come to assassinate them. Even though Wang Xian's actions had deterred the other races, some domain-level races did not give up. Especially those domain-level races with peak God Emperor Realm experts. The allure of a lesser divine dragon was worth the risk. Moreover, even though the Dragon Palace had assassinated a large number of God Emperor Realm experts, the strongest among them was only an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. This meant that the 8th Order God Emperor Realm was the Dragon Palace's limit. Even if the Dragon Palace had a 9th Order God Emperor Realm expert, they had nothing to fear. The Dragon Palace's assassination was a form of provocation to them. Other than a few domain-level races who had some reservations, the other domain-level races would continue to act. They had even sent out 9th Order God Emperor Realm experts and even peak God Emperor Realm experts. On this day, the domain-level races experts hovered in the sky, looking towards the starry sky with gleaming eyes. Dragon King, I'm afraid we won't be able to deter them this way. At this moment, within the Dragon Palace, Tianjin frowned as he looked at the information on the AI. If we can deter them, we should do so. At the very least, some of the other races will not dare to get involved in this mess. The other domain-level races should also be able to deter them from killing the innocent. If they dare to kill the innocent, they will have to consider our revenge. Moreover, our main dragon palace has already been moved here. They won't be able to do anything to us. Wang Xian said. Tianjin nodded his head slightly. Dragon King, the Yaqi Devilsha and the others have sent a message. The old patriarch of the intelligent brain domain-level tribe is coming over personally. Moreover, several other domain-level tribes have also sent 9th Order God Emperor realm experts. There might even be a peak Emperor God expert from the Sky Fire race. At this time, Prime Minister Turtle reported to Wang Xian after receiving the message from Yamada Demon Sha and the rest. And Lai, bring some venom horn dragons with you to scout out the territory of these domain-level tribes. The moment they do anything overboard, we'll hunt down their clansmen, their 2nd and 3rd Order God Emperor realm experts, and their elite disciples. I'd like to see if they dare to fight with our dragon palace. Other than that, Heavenly Formation Roving Demon, increase your strength first. That way it'll be easier to hunt them. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth arched slightly as he spoke with a chilling tone. This time he had killed 3 8th Order God Emperor realm experts and 16 7th Order God Emperor realm experts. These resources were sufficient for Roving Demon, Yamada no Orochi, and the others to possess the battle strength of an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert. At that time, with an existence like Enlai who could ignore formations and teleport, it would definitely be a disaster for the disciples of the domain-level races. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded and immediately led a few dozen venom horn dragon elites away. Next, if any forces dared to act presumptuously in the Dragon Palace's territory, the Dragon Palace would slaughter their disciples and experts. Days passed and news came from the venom horn dragons. Some experts had arrived at the resplendent starry sky. The Dragon Palace did not make any moves. Instead, it was waiting. Perhaps due to the deterrence this time, no one dared to kill the innocent in the Dragon Palace's territory. One by one, the experts flew in the direction of the Imperial Star Domain. They had more or less gotten the information they needed. Now, they only needed to head to the Dragon Palace's territory to take a look. Looks like there are quite a lot of people here. Half a month later, on the Dragon Island above the Imperial Star Domain, the old patriarch of the brain race scanned the surroundings with glistening eyes. He looked at the majestic palace below, and with a move of his body, he flew down directly. That should be the ocean where the Dragon Palace is located. There's a palace in there, but it's not big. The body of the old chief of the brain race moved, and he flew straight down towards the ground. Swish, swish, swish. In the surroundings, some figures also immediately flew over. There's no movement inside. It seems that the people of the Dragon Palace have escaped. An old man with a pangolin-like body and a human head said faintly as he stared at the place below. They killed hundreds of experts from our rare race. I'd like to see how powerful the Dragon Palace is. A cold voice was heard as a top expert from the rare race dived into the ocean below. The experts from the surrounding forces also moved and flew down immediately. Welcome to the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace does not wish to be enemies with anyone. Please don't make things difficult for us. Just as the group of 7 experts arrived at the front of the Dragon Palace, a civil servant of the Dragon Palace walked out from the east gate of the Dragon Palace. He bowed to them and said, "Call the leader of the Dragon Palace here." The expert from the rare race narrowed his eyes and ordered coldly when he saw the civil servant of the Dragon Palace carrying a turtle shell on his back. Everyone, our Dragon King is not here. I'm the only one here." The civil servant of the Dragon Palace smiled gently and said, "Ha! Your Dragon Palace has guts to kill people from my rare race." The expert from the rare race was stunned. A terrifying pressure pressed down on the civil servant of the Dragon Palace. Our Dragon Palace does not offend anyone. No one can offend our Dragon Palace. You have to pay the price for killing people in our Dragon Palace's territory. We set the rules in our territory. The civil servant of the Dragon Palace turned pale and continued in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. Is that so? Does your Dragon Palace know that you have to pay the price for assassinating us from the brain race? The old patriarch of the brain race said indifferently. Revenge breeds revenge. When will there be an end to it? Our Dragon Palace has no intention to be enemies with any forces. The civil servant of the Dragon Palace replied indifferently. You're not qualified to talk to us. Ask your leader to come out. On the right side, a Ninth Order God Emperor Realm old man spoke coldly. Our Dragon King will meet with you when there's a chance. The civil servant of the Dragon Palace said again. We're all here. Is your Dragon King not going to meet us? The expert from the rare race asked coldly. Killing intent flashed in his eyes. Chapter 30:18. Carving a bloody path and deterring the hero's 6-inch hee-hee, you've come with ill intentions. Our Dragon King will not meet you. The civil servant of Dragon Palace glanced at the 7 of them. The 7 of them represented 7 forces. Behind each of them was a domain-level race. It could be said that half of the domain-level races surrounding the Incan clan were here. The 7 of them squinted their eyes at the words of the civil servant of Dragon Palace. I heard that there are divine dragons and sub-dragons in Dragon Palace. Can we take a look? An old man in full armor said coldly. Whether or not our Dragon Palace has a divine dragon or a lesser dragon, it has nothing to do with you guys. If you want to be the enemy of Dragon Palace or covet our Dragon Palace, then Dragon Palace can only fight back. The civil servant of Dragon Palace replied. Ha, you want to make an enemy of us? The expert from the rare ancient clan said disdainfully. Of course not. But if anyone dares to kill innocent people in Dragon Palace's territory, we can only take revenge in our own way. The civil official of Dragon Palace cupped his hands in obeisance to the 7 experts and entered the Dragon Palace in a flash. Take revenge in your own way? But do you know the price you have to pay for killing the experts from the Brain Spirit clan? The old clan leader of the Brain Spirit clan said faintly. He moved and dashed towards the Dragon Palace below. A wave of horrifying pressure rushed towards the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace below even trembled because of it. The old clan leader of the Brain Spirit clan frowned slightly as he felt the strength of the Dragon Palace. The other 6 experts also raised their eyebrows. The Dragon Palace has shifted its position. There's no one here and the buildings below are weak. The old man who looked like a pangolin said with flickering eyes. The old clan leader of the Brain Spirit clan snorted coldly. He waved his arm and a terrifying attack swept towards the Dragon Palace below. Boom. The low-level Dragon Palace couldn't withstand the terrifying attack and collapsed directly. Everyone from today onwards, our Dragon Palace does not welcome you. Please leave our domain immediately, otherwise we will also visit your domain. Just at this moment, Enlai appeared in the nearby sea and warned with a smile. A threat? I hate threats the most. The expert from the rare ancient race had a murderous look in his eyes. With a wave of his arm, a confinement circle flew towards Enlai. The speed of the confinement circle was terrifying. At such a short distance, even an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert might not be able to dodge it. Buzz. However, Enlai's figure disappeared in an instant. What? The ancient race expert's face changed slightly when he saw Enlai vanish in an instant. The other 6 experts also frowned slightly, and their eyes flickered. Check the surroundings. However, they did not give up. One by one, they took out their treasures and sorcerer tools to search for information about the Dragon Palace. Dragon King, there are 7 domain-level races. The experts from the rare ancient race and the Brainling race have made their move. I suggest we start with these 2 races. At the same time, in the main Dragon Palace of the Emohan clan ruins, Enlai returned and said, Alright, Enlai, Tianjin, roving demon, 8-limbed snakes, let's go. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and said immediately, Yes, Dragon King. The few who were already prepared nodded their heads. In this half a month, roving demon, Tianjin, 8-limbed snakes, and the others had broken through to the 8th Order God Emperor realm. With such strength, led by Enlai, and with the help of the Venom Horn Dragon, they could turn a powerful domain-level race upside down. Buzz. In the next moment, their figures appeared in the void. Dragon King, this is the detailed information about this planet, the locations of the Brainling race's experts. At the side, 8-limbed snakes looked at the AI and revealed a smile. Half a month ago, a group of Venom Horn Dragons had parasitized several Brainling race experts. It was not an exaggeration to say that the Dragon Palace controlled 70% of the Brainling race's information. This included the locations of some experts on this planet. This planet was one of the planets controlled by the Brainling race, and it was different from the mainland they had attacked previously. This planet was also one of the more important planets of the Brainling race, and there was an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert guarding it. This expert was not on the surface of the planet, but was cultivating in the planet's core. This information was obtained by the Venom Horn Dragon from the memories of this expert's descendant. The entrance is here. As the cultivation ground of the Brainling race's experts, there should be an array formation or other security measures. Enlai, go and check it out. Eight-limbed snake said to Enlai. Bring this shaman artifact with you. You can find out some information. Tianjin handed over a shaman artifact and said, Leave it to me. Enlai nodded his head and disappeared in an instant. Teleportation could ignore arrays and size. Enlai could even teleport to the interior of a planet. The prerequisite was that he could withstand the pressure of the planet. Otherwise he might die instantly. With his current strength he could still withstand the pressure of the planet below him. Tianjin, here you go. This is the information I've collected. 5 seconds later, Enlai returned and handed the shaman artifact to Tianjin with a smile. Tianjin took a look at the shaman artifact and revealed a faint smile. Dragon King, we can get Enlai to bring us here directly. At such a close distance we can kill our way to the center in an instant. Tianjin pointed to an illusory sphere on the shaman artifact and said, Alright, let's do it. Wang Xian looked over and nodded his head immediately. The core of this planet was a cultivation paradise. There was a large amount of earth heart flame inside. Fire attribute experts could achieve twice the results with half the effort when cultivating here. On the surface of this planet, there were a few warning arrays, but Enlai could take them directly through them. With a wave of his arm, they appeared in the interior of the planet instantly. Here Enlai opened up a space of 10 cubic meters. Dragon Eye. Wang Xian looked down and saw an expert from the Brainling race with a huge head cultivating inside. Do it. He squinted his eyes and signaled to Tianjin, roving demon, and eight-limbed snakes. In the next instant, the soil beneath them split apart and led straight to where the expert from the Brainling race was cultivating. What? The expert from the Brainling race who was cultivating sensed the commotion above him. His expression changed slightly as he lifted his head immediately. Dragon Eye Lock. Instant kill. Horrifying roar. Octagonal sword. At this moment Wang Xian and the rest launched their strongest attack. Death was upon them. Chapter 30:19. Carving a path of blood and deterrence. 7 Rumble rumble rumble. The terrifying attack smashed downwards, causing rumbling sounds to ring out from the interior of the star. The 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert from the Brain Tribe was crushed before he could even put up a fight. There wasn't a single scream. There was no resistance. He was directly suppressed by the powerful force. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile when he saw this scene. Great! He waved his arm and kept the corpse. Dragon King, look over there. At this time Tianjin and the rest exclaimed in surprise. Huh! Wang Xian looked over and his eyes lit up. This space was a blessed land. The entire planet's core was hollow within a radius of 100 kilometers. There was a purple earth core flame rising from it. Within the earth core flame, there was a purple flame flower growing. Densely packed flame flowers occupied most of the space. Purple swallow flower. 8th Order God Emperor Realm purple swallow flower. There are many more that have matured. Looking at these divine flowers, Wang Xian was shocked. As expected of a domain-level race. There are so many resources on a single planet. Orochi clicked his tongue and exclaimed. The Brain Tribe has a foundation of billions of years. It's no surprise that they have some precious divine flowers. What a pleasant surprise. Tianjin swept his gaze across and revealed a smile. Keep them and let's go. Wang Xian was also beaming as he spoke to them. Dragon Palace, are these resources enough for you to improve? Orochi and the rest kept all the divine flowers and asked Wang Xian. Probably not. Wang Xian shook his head. We have hunted many experts and obtained many treasures from their spatial rings. If we hunt some more experts, it should be enough for you to improve, Dragon King. Orochi estimated. That's possible. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. I'll get my men to check on the situation of the Brain Tribe and Rare Ancient Tribe's herb gardens and resources. Orochi's eyes flickered and he immediately sent out a few messages. Let's go. Let's get rid of the Brain Tribe experts on this planet first. Wang Xian said as he looked at Enlai. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded and immediately disappeared. This planet was one of the more important planets of the Brainiac race. There were more than 1,400 God Emperors on it. After the 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert was assassinated, the next step was much simpler. With the combat power of 4 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts and the help of the Venom Horn Dragon, killing them was a walk in the park. In 20 minutes, all the Brain Race God Emperors on the planet had been killed. Done. Let's go to the rare ancient tribe. After 20 minutes, Orochi said excitedly. Go. And Lai and the others nodded and teleported away. Soon they arrived at an empty place. There were no continents or planets, only a mountain peak standing in the void. An incomparably huge mountain peak. This was the domain of the rare ancient race. Good news, Dragon King. Just now, I asked Devil Fiend and the others to look for some resources related to the rare ancient tribe. They really found a place. When they came to the void in front of the mountain peak, Orochi looked at the information on the Universe AI and said, Oh. Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and his eyes flickered. However, there are 4 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts guarding there. We need to come up with a plan. Orochi said. 4 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow slightly. It shouldn't be a big problem. Orochi, mark all the information about the rare ancient tribe on this mountain peak. Devil Fiend is currently residing with a 7th Order God Emperor Realm expert. He should know about the transmission array on this mountain peak. Under normal circumstances, there will be a public transmission array and a secret transmission array. We will first destroy these 2 transmission arrays, then we can launch our attack. Tianjin said. Alright, Devil Fiend should know about this. Also, Tianjin, you better set up a concealment array to conceal this mountain peak. Wang Xian said. Alright, Dragon King, we can first assassinate the rare ancient tribe experts outside, then deal with the 4 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts. With our strength we should be able to kill them. Tianjin nodded. Alright, then the few of them immediately started to come up with a plan. Very quickly, a detailed plan was completed. With the 7th Order God Emperor Realm expert that Devil Fiend was residing in as a spy, the operation was very simple. After silently killing the God Emperor Realm experts, they cut off the transmission array and flew towards the peak of the mountain peak. At the peak of the mountain peak was a medicinal refinement ground of the rare ancient tribe. Using the peak spring, coupled with a special and powerful flame to refine the pill. The rare ancient tribe specialized in medicinal refinement, and this was one of their medicinal refinement grounds. As a medicinal refinement ground, there were naturally large amounts of medicinal pills and divine herbs. Tianjin set up the formation. As they neared the peak, Wang Xian immediately ordered Tianjin. Tianjin nodded and immediately started setting up the formation. Boom. Tianjin's formation caused the heavens and earth to tremble. A God Emperor flew out and scanned the surroundings. So. PFFF. However, the instant the 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert flew out, the Yamada no Orochi turned into a black stream and entered his body. That 8th Order God Emperor's expression changed drastically, and he immediately tried to defend himself. However, sharp claws pierced into his body from behind, causing his body to stiffen. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. So. The Yamada no Orochi immediately latched onto the body of the rare race expert and fought for control of his body. Soon a black light flashed in his eyes. Old Bai, what's going on? At this time an old man flew over from the peak and shouted at him. There's a commotion below. I'll go check it out. Orochi immediately covered the spot where Roving Demon had pierced through, smeared a large amount of vitality liquid on it and flew downwards. The old man on the mountain peak furrowed his brows and swept his gaze around. Boom. Not good, someone's attacking. At this time Orochi's parasitized body flew back towards the peak, and he immediately screamed. Old Bai. The old man on the peak turned pale, and his eyes narrowed when he saw the large amount of blood on Old Bai's body. He stretched out his arm and took Orochi's body. BFFF. At this time, Orochi tore apart the parasitized body, and an incomparably sharp black claw pierced through the old man from the rare ancient tribe. Cough cough. How is this possible? The ancient race cultivator's eyes widened in shock. Bus. At this time, Tianjin's formation enveloped the peak of the mountain. Boom boom boom. Wang Xian and the rest flew over with 2 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts. Chapter 30-20. Slaughter a path of blood, awe the heroes 8-inch. Damn it, what's going on? Old white medicinal wine. The terrifying fluctuations of the formation and the terrified screams immediately attracted the attention of everyone on the peak of the rare ancient race's giant peak. There were over 5,000 people on the mountain peak, and all of them were alchemists from the rare ancient race. There were quite a few God Emperor Realm alchemists. When they felt the changes outside, their expressions changed. 2 of the 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts' expressions changed. They quickly condensed a powerful defensive barrier around their bodies and flew out. 8 desolate dragon eyes. Just as they rushed out, an incomparably terrifying attack came towards them. Not good, everyone get ready, we're under attack. When the 2 brain spirit race experts sensed this power, their expressions changed drastically and they immediately roared out. What? We're at the peak and there are powerful restrictions around us. There are also a large number of subordinates guarding the bottom of the mountain. Why are we suddenly attacked? Everyone in the refinement room was shocked when they saw this. Rumble. At this moment, the terrifying chains that filled the sky covered the entire peak. The expressions of the 2 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts changed. Their heads turned azure blue in an instant, and their hair whipped towards the chains in the air. Bang bang bang. Terrifying sounds of collisions rang out. The brain race had huge heads and they were natural water attribute cultivators. Their hair was their weapon of attack. Jedi. At this time, the 8 limitless gods and the sky formation appeared on their left and right. The 8 limitless gods moved, and his entire body turned into a black liquid as he charged towards them. The sky formation waved his arm and powerful formations appeared in the air. Damn it, there's an 8th Order God Emperor Realm Shaman. Looking at the strange body of the sky formation and sensing the changes in the world, their expressions changed. The shaman lineage was an extremely powerful existence in the center of the universe. Many people were unwilling to provoke a shaman. That was because they were powerful and strange. Witchcraft arrays could seal an area of space. Once sealed, there was no way to escape. Who are you? Why are you attacking my brain race? One of the 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts questioned with a gloomy expression. This is the price you have to pay for invading our dragon palace. Wang Xian flapped his unparalleled sacred wings and attacked them at a terrifying speed. Dragon palace. Hearing these 2 words, the hearts of everyone from the brain spirit tribe sank. Not long ago, the Dragon Palace had assassinated a large number of their brain spirit clan's experts. They didn't expect that they would do it again. Everyone destroy all the pills and divine herbs. Even if we die, we can't let them get them. One of the brain spirit race's experts revealed a ruthless expression as he roared. Yes. Destroy everything. The alchemists of the brain spirit clan revealed a look of horror, and they roared in panic. Piu. But at this time, Dark Arden's figure appeared. His sharp dagger was smeared with potent poison as it cut through the heads of the brain spirit race experts. Not good, someone has entered. Horrified cries rang out in the surroundings, and the entire peak instantly fell into chaos. Boom. In front of him, Wang Xian's arm turned into a dragon claw and slammed heavily towards an expert from the brain spirit clan. When the expert from the brain spirit clan saw Wang Xian's speed, his expression changed drastically. Law of superpower, 3000 water manipulation. He roared. Ripples formed in front of him, and fish scales appeared on the ripples, forming an indestructible defense. However, just as his defense was formed, an incomparably sharp claw pierced through his head from behind. Those that the Dragon Palace wants to assassinate won't be able to escape. Roving Demon's voice rang in his mind. His eyes widened in horror. His vitality was rapidly being eroded by the power of light and darkness. Big brother. A horrified voice rang out from the side. Yamada no Orochi's cold laughter rang out. With a wave of his arm, his liquid-like body elongated and attacked that expert. That expert from the Brain Spirit clan immediately defended himself. Swish swish. However, the attack from the heavenly formation had arrived at the same time. This caused his eyes to turn bloodshot. Boom boom. Wang Xian increased his speed and attacked him as well. No, the Brain Spirit clan will never let you off. That 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert roared in anger. In the next moment he was drowned by the powerful attacks. Against the encirclement of Wang Xian and the other 3, he couldn't even last 5 seconds. No, Elder. The group of alchemists at the back shouted in horror. Yamada no Orochi and Roving Demon did not hesitate and attacked the rest of the alchemists. What followed next was a one-sided massacre. Aha, Dragon King, we're rich. There are so many elixir pills inside. At this time, Enlai's excited roar came from the inner space of the mountain peak. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the experts from the Brain Spirit clan who were waiting to be slaughtered. With a swift move he flew inside. The words Elixir Storage Room were written on the stone room inside the mountain peak. Inside, bottles of elixir pills could be seen. Every jade bottle contained a large number of elixir pills. This is... Wang Xian squinted his eyes. Sure enough, killing was spared. Ehe Dragon King, this is the elixir storage room of the Brain Spirit clan. The Brain Spirit clan specializes in refining elixir pills in this part of the void. They sell their elixir pills to dozens of clans and races. Even if this isn't the core elixir storage room, there are still quite a number of elixir pills stored here. Yamada no Orochi walked in and said with glowing eyes, "Let's go." Wang Xian was also a little excited. There were a lot of elixir pills inside, almost a few million of them. Even if many of them weren't of a high level, with the resources he had obtained recently, it was enough for him to break through. After breaking through, he would possess the combat strength of a 9th Order God Emperor. Given his 9th Order God Emperor combat strength, he could kill those of the same level. In that case, in this part of the void, only the few powerful domain-level races were stronger than the Dragon Palace. Sky Array, record the situation here and send it to the universe's AI in the name of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian kept all the elixir pills and instructed the Sky Array. Yes, Dragon King. I've recorded everything. The Sky Array nodded. Done. Let's return to the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian said. They nodded and their figures slowly disappeared, using the two major races as an example to deter the other races. It wouldn't be long before the universe's AI was in an uproar. At that time, those domain-level races experts would probably behave themselves. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.